gentlemen, please help me welcome Leah. Leah, come on up. Leah Larkin. Thank you. Hey, beautiful. Thank you so much. Aggression. Go Pro 2025, how are we feeling? Day 2. What an introduction from Marina. Listen, I know a lot of people start these things and waste 20 minutes talking about themselves, telling you a story of how they've got to where they've got to. And I'm not saying that isn't powerful, but I think I'd be doing you an injustice if I spoke about myself for 20 minutes. So the only thing I'm going to tell you about me is this. I've been called disruptive my entire life. At school, I questioned the system, the teachers, the business teacher that had never run a business, that was trying to teach me how to be an entrepreneur. No thanks. And so I went through life questioning the system, challenging the system, the boxes that the world had tried to put me in, that I never fit in, and the lines that I always colored outside of. I never fit in corporate. I felt like I was acting, and I was. I used to breathe a sigh of relief when I'd left the office, because I could finally be myself. And then I found network marketing. I made an entire brand out of being disruptive. I made an entire training system out of disrupting others, their belief systems, the stories that they were telling themselves, the stories that other people were telling them about what they could do and who they should be. That's how powerful this profession is when it's treated with the respect that it deserves. So rather than telling you a story about myself, I'm going to tell you a story about 2 other people in a minute. But I want to start with this. I don't care if you sell a product, a service, or a system. I want you to know the true power of what you've got in your hands. It's not the product or the service. Do you know what I sell in network marketing? Sledgehammers to smash through glass ceilings, to smash through belief systems, to smash through the old stories that you've been told about yourself, of who you can be and what you can earn. That's the power of what you've got access to. It's not a product or a service. It's a possibility, and it's potential. But some of you have been presenting this wrong. Some of you are selling it as a side hustle. It's an easy way for you to make money. It's not easy, but it is worth it. And it needs to start be presenting as such. So to kick off, the story that I'm going to tell you is about this man. Everyone knows him, right? Put it in the chat if you know who that is. What? Tumbleweed? Nobody knows who he is. Good, my plans worked. What about this guy? Everyone knows him, yeah? Steve Jobs. The guy on the first slide that I've just shown you is the forgotten founder of Apple. He's called Ron Wayne. He actually owned 10% shares in Apple. And after 12 days of owning 10% shares in Apple, Ron Wayne sold them for $800. Ouch, that hurts. Today, those shares would be worth over 300 billion with a B, as in his yacht could have had a smaller emotional support yacht. His assets could have had even smaller emotional support assets. But he didn't hold the vision. He believed in Apple for only 12 days, and some of you in this room will have sold your shares in the greatest profession in the industry before the end of 2026, and I don't want you to do that. So which one's it going to be? Ron or Steve? So I want to give you some tips on how you can build your belief system to the level that mine is at. Some of you aren't money-driven, and that's okay. Some of you are purpose-driven. Some of you are people-driven. And I want you to think back to the day you joined the business. Now, Eric says this, and I repeat it, because duplication is key. The day you join the business and the day you start the business are not the same. The day I joined the business was 3 months before I attended my very first online Go Pro. It was 6 years ago in COVID, or maybe it was 5 actually. And this is a full circle moment for me, because on that first call, I saw Eric and Marina Worre talking about a profession that is so misunderstood, but so powerful, and I saw them talking about it the way that Marina just spoke, with love, with admiration, and with wanting to elevate it. Now, while I'd been in network marketing for 3 months before that Go Pro call, I'd done nothing. I was the woman that was wildly uneducated that came from corporate, that called this one of those things, that said it's only the person at the top that makes the money. People like me don't win in places like that. And then I got on the call and I saw nothing but possibility. I saw one of the most intelligent business models on the planet, and I joined the business after that Go Pro call. I was already in it, but I wasn't doing anything. It was on that call that I made a decision. And I sat in my kitchen at my laptop in Manchester, and I said to no one, I'm going to speak on that stage. And then I thought, now I've just got to work out how to get there. I've been working super closely with Eric and Marina for the last 2 years, and I actually joined their mastermind. Now, when I joined the mastermind, I was scraping the entry level. They just about let me in. I wasn't quite earning enough money. I'm working with those two at the level that I have done over the last 2 years. I've almost quadrupled my income. I've just renewed for year 2. Because the way they talk about what we've got access to, and not just talk about it, the way they teach it has enabled me to take that back to my organization, to teach people those 6 things that they've been running through, and to help them break through the stories that they keep telling themselves about why they can't do it. So why did that story matter that I started with? It matters because some of you will sell your shares before the end of 2026 if that decision isn't made today, if that vision isn't held. You see, because when Ron joined Apple, he didn't do it for a laugh. He did it because he had a thought of what if. And I want you to think about your what if moment when you join network marketing. It'll sound a bit like this. What if I could make a couple of £100 a month? What if I could change my family's life? What if I could get my time back? What if I could have some freedom? What if I could help others? And remember your what if moment when doubt tries to creep in, when somebody tells you that this won't work for somebody like you, or when you start to tell yourself that narrative. Remember your what if moment and hold on to it. Network marketing is one of the most intelligent business, I will say the most intelligent business model on the planet. Low cost of entry, high cost of exit. The same way Ron sold those shares too early. If you sell your shares too early in yourself and this industry, you'll be doing yourself a disservice. So why is it so misunderstood? I've thought about this often. It comes down to presentation. How do you present this opportunity? What are you telling people when they come in? I was guilty of all of this, by the way, when I started. Come in, it's easy. I made 6 figures in 11 months. It was easy for me because I had the skill set. I came in ready for network marketing. I could present, I was confident. I could talk to people, I had a great network, I was influential. But that wasn't duplicatable. And so me telling people that story is doing them a disservice. Start giving people the full picture when you're speaking to them. Network marketing is a compensation plan attached to a self-development journey, if you go on it, where you can upskill. Because in corporate, nobody taught me how to do anything. My boss wouldn't get on Zoom with me at 10 at night and teach me how to be a better person, or a business owner. And do you know what he wouldn't do? Give me the blueprint to earn more money than him, to take the job. But here in network marketing, we do that. And that's what I saw on my first Go Pro call that I attended. And it's what I've seen with every presenter since. Network marketing doesn't care if you're female, male, what ethnicity you are, have you got a degree, age, doesn't care where you live. It cares about two things: who you've become and who you help in the becoming. So I've told you I'm disruptive, and I am. And I've turned it not just into a personal brand, but into a training formula. And I want to disrupt the narrative that you keep telling yourself. Put me a 1 in the chat if the thought of standing on this stage now, speaking to 50,000, maybe. Eric said, no pressure, it's only the size of Wembley. I was like, don't worry, I've got it. If the thought of standing on this stage now makes your mouth dry, knees weak, arms heavy, vomit on your sweater already. So quick. A lot of you tell me over and over again, presentation is the thing that makes you the most fearful about network marketing. They tell me I could never do what you do, Leah. And I always say the same thing. Do you know when I was born, I couldn't talk? I don't know about any of you, I couldn't form words or sentences. I had to practice being able to talk. And for a while, I was terrible at it. I think I was like 1.5 when I started forming sentences. It took me a long time to be able to do that. And so the same thing happened with walking, funnily enough. When I was born, I was terrible at that. I had to crawl for a little bit, and it kept falling over. And eventually, I started to take some steps, and I started to say some things, and now I can do both at once. Look at me. Fantastic. But it took a while, and nobody was born being able to present. Nobody was born being able to speak. None of you were born with the confidence to do anything. It's built. And it's built this way. I'm going to teach you it. 3 steps. But before I do that, I just want to tell you about Ron Wayne again, because I've just remembered. He actually lives in a trailer park about 30 minutes away from here. And he's boycotted using any Apple device. Understandably, like, I'd be mad as well, come on. But why I'm telling you that is that's what happens in the profession when you missell it. When you missell what we've got access to and the work that's involved in it, what happens is people bash an entire profession over it. It's our job to elevate the profession. It's our job to sell it the way that it needs to be sold. And it's our job to manage expectations when somebody comes in. So let me give you a quick, simple formula for presentation. Presentation is 2 things. And this is the only simple part. Confidence and skill added up. Now, that was simple. It was 2 words with a plus sign in the middle. But the work that it's going to take you to become confident is not simple. And I'm not going to lie about that. But can I tell you how you build everything? Everything, a skill. Sales psychology is a skill. Closing is a skill. Expanding your network is a skill. Confidence is a skill. But this is the part that most people get wrong. There's no podcast, no speaker, and no book that you can read or listen to that's going to change your confidence. The learning is in the doing, not the watching, not the listening, not the taking of notes, not the consuming of information. It's in the steps that you're not taking. And so let me give you some steps, actionable things that you can use. Has anyone heard their upline say, put me a 1 in the chat, success lifts speed? I used to repeat this like a parrot, and then I was like, what does that even mean? Why does it love speed? And so I invented something. I hate it when people say stuff and it's got no substance to it. I invented this, the speed law. It's 3 parts, and don't worry, you're not going to get arrested if you don't follow it. It's not a real law, but you will get better if you do. Part 1 is this: momentum makes you magnetic. When you move fast, people watch. And when you hesitate, nobody does. Speed signals certainty, and people follow that. Why does success love speed so much? Fear is a slow emotion. It keeps you stuck and trapped in the comfort zone. And if you act quick before it can keep you there, you outrun it. Law number 2, imperfect action beats perfect intention every single time. My superpower is that I just work it out along the way. I make the decision, and I go in that direction, and guess what happens? Someone will put a wall up, and I'll smash through it. Somebody will put a roadblock, and I'll go around it. It's never linear, but I get there as I go. Law number 3 is the time gap kills dreams. The longer you think about taking action, the more your belief leaves your system. One of my favorite sayings about being a network marketer is this: the true definition of a network marketer is somebody that jumps off a cliff and builds a plane on the way down. I make the decision, and then I work out the how as I'm falling. The quicker you act, the less time fear has to keep you trapped. And the next thing I want to give you is the muscle law. Everyone thinks about building skills, but never actually does them for long enough to actually get the result that they want at the end. So I want everyone to put the fist in the air. Squeeze it as hard as you can for 3 seconds. You can feel it burning down the front of your arm. That's a flexor muscle. You don't use that very often unless you're gripping. And when you do, you don't squeeze it as hard as I've just made you do. That tension that you feel down the muscle is what building a skill feels like. Confidence feels like resistance at first. Presenting feels like resistance at first. But can I tell you how muscle is built and how all skills are built? Muscle grows through repeated repetition under resistance. It's supposed to feel like that. And the more you train that muscle or that skill, the easier this becomes. But you can't do it about reading about weight training, reading about how other people got in shape, reading about how I got on stage. The learning is in the doing and not the watching. And I want to close out with this. Let me just normalize the industry that you're in. Network marketing is done every day by everyone for free. We recommend hairdressers, Netflix shows, restaurants that we've ate at, to our network, online, offline, in person, upside down, and none of you get paid for it. This is the only industry where you can build wealth for yourself by doing something that everybody's already doing. And the quicker you normalize the profession and you believe in it the way I do, the easier it becomes to help somebody else see what you see. So my top tip for you is this: build belief in what we have access to. Build the skills that you need to get to the destination that you're saying you want to get to. And I'm going to close out with this. This profession has been undersold for years. People soften it to make it sound easy. They say that you can come in and it sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme sometimes. You can come in and make some money and then you're going to have this freedom. But what do we need to do to get there? What skills are they going to have to work on? How much are they going to have to evolve as a human to be able to do that? Your job isn't just to learn the presentation. It's to learn to present the truth. If somebody joins you, they deserve to know that they've not signed up for magic. They've signed up for growth. So go out there and give the profession the respect it deserves. Thank you, Go Pro.